Hello, welcome to CEO Insights. My name is Vitaly Gimin. This is the Living Organization podcast, very topical for today because we have Chris Cochrane today. Chris, welcome first.
Thank you, Vitaly. Thanks for having me. I'm really honored to be here and appreciate it.
Chris, I decided in a spare moment that you will introduce yourself for what companies you're from and so on. So go ahead.
Sure. Thanks. Yeah, I currently sit as the CEO of a company called Blue Chip Solutions. I also manage another IT company, and I sit on the board of directors for Coeptis Holdings Company, which is a biotech cancer research company. And I also am the director of the Christian Cochrane Legacy Fund, and that's in honor of my late son who passed away of cancer.
Mm. By the way, sorry to hear about that, Chris. It's important that we bring him in because this partly what's going on for you right now. And I see a book in the background. So tell us just quickly about the book.
Sure, thanks. Yes, my son passed away 3 years ago of cancer, a rare cancer called cholangiocarcinoma. It's only seen in Southeast Asia and really in older individuals. So, 22-year-old kid, young adult, he lived a big life and was a spark for so many different things. I could spend all day on here talking about my son, but ultimately the book is called What's Good About Today. It was something that my son used to tell myself and my wife and our family every day as he was going through cancer. When we were really down and depressed, he would remind us and say, "What's good about today?" It was his daily reminder to remind us of what's good in each and every single day, even when it gets bad. And I know that viewers that are listening to this have had bad days, some very bad days. And so you can still look back and see the beauty in that. And so that book will hit the shelves. It's on global distribution. Comes out August 22nd. It's out for pre-order on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and other global places.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for bringing this topic up because your son is a representative of, how can I express a lot of what's going on these days. I mean, he passed away, but a lot of us are still, I guess, caught in this, I don't know, mental way of seeing the world from a negative point of view, I guess, or looking what's wrong about things rather than what's right. Now, tell us more, like, for example, what you learned in the last few years. How do you bring that into our workplace so we start looking at the workplace from a different perspective?
Yeah, I always like to refer to myself. There's sort of my pre-Chris Cochrane, 4 years ago, pre-cancer, right? And my mentality and how we go about things. And I think it's a lot like many people, right? You lose sight of the things that are important to you. You get caught up in keeping up with, as people have heard this term, which is keeping up with the Joneses, right? Trying to figure out how you get better than the next person. Obviously, what I have learned is kindness rules supreme, love rules supreme. And so that has always been, you don't think of business and love and all these things and kindness, but I think it's timely right now, right? We are in a world in which hate kind of fuels so many different things. Hate against your neighbor, hate against your business individuals. I take a very different approach because I try to be extremely kind to my employees. I have employees. I am doing my best to be ultra kind and loving to my customers. And that is at the core of who I am. That's how I instill that with my mission with the people that I work with. That's the mission that I take when I work for Coeptis and working on cancer research. So it's in my DNA now. And I think that I talk a lot about that because I think if I can impact one person to be more kind and more gentle and more giving to others, and even in the business sense, right? I think there's a lot of good that comes from that as opposed to the other side, which is, crushing people. I really just don't subscribe to that.
No, thank you. So you went through kind of a transformation in the last 3-4 years, right?
That's an understatement. Yeah, for sure. I have, I look back, Vitaly, and that person 4 years ago, I don't recognize that individual. I don't know who that person is. So I think anybody who goes through life-changing things like this, losing a child. I mean, people have lost their parents. I've lost my parents, and lose brothers and sisters, some very tragically. For us, it was cancer, and cancer is a slow killer, and you watch it, and it's from the beginning to the end. I'm not here to make people feel bad or feel bad for me. I don't want that, nor would my son. It's all about providing positivity and realize that we're all here for a short time. We have to be ultra aware of that and do the right thing by others. Again, I think that's in all areas, and in business, it's important as well.
Mm. How do we shift? Okay, let me be blunt. Do we really need cancer to shift our perspective? That's the most ultimate form of hammer over the head. How do we get people to wake up? How do we wake ourselves up from that dream of and say, wait a minute, what's really important to me? How, how do we do that in where when it's a large organization, a big corporation, when there's a lot of momentum towards performance and KPIs and chasing product. You've been in the IT
Yeah.
world. It's a very fast world. It's almost like a tornado that takes you over. How do we wake people up from that?
I think it's tough. There's no doubt about that. You said something in the beginning, and it's striking to me, which is, does it take a terminal illness to wake people up? That line is in my book,
Mm,
and I make that point in the book, which is, does it really take that for all of us to realize the beauty that exists right in front of us? I think for businesses, the challenge is always, again, unless you've had something that's happened to you, it's tough to see that unless you have people like myself, and there's plenty of others that have gone through things to express, help them, bring them the light of what really is there, help them to see through the eyes of what I'm trying to tell you, that you can make that shift. You can make that cultural shift in a business, company. That's one of the hardest things to do. And
mm,
I've worked in some of the biggest companies, from Hewlett Packard to other IT companies, EDS. To make a cultural shift is very difficult, and it really starts at the top. You have to have someone who understands how to culturally shift those individuals within an organization, to bring positivity, to show respect, to show that you care about their worth, and the work that they are doing. It's a two-sided thing, right? You have to have employees who believe in the same thing, right? You can't
mm,
it can't just all be, but it does start getting people to realize that, hey, I've got to make some shifts here. And I fundamentally believe that, I use this term, what's good about today. It's a simple term. It's not complicated. But if you really break down looking at every single day, you can really make an impact. Because you can ask anyone who knows me now, I don't look at things in the future too far at all. I
mm.
don't look back. I look at, what can I do today? And I'm looking at the moment I am here with you. Be present. Be very present in your moments, because they can change in a flash.
Yeah.
Literally, it changes.
What a discovery, eh?
Yes.
What a discovery in some respect, because we go our lives almost half asleep, and then all of a sudden, kaboom, right?
Yep.
And
It changes on a dime.
changes on a dime, right? And that's how life is. Sometimes it whispers to us for many years, though, right? We're not quite listening, right? Don't you agree that the signs were there for you and for many others? Keep saying, Chris, hello, you're not being present. Hello, you're not doing this. Hey, you're too occupied with your
Yeah.
IT rather than looking at love and caring. Right? IT is not love and caring. IT is a technology to be used as a tool, not as a end for itself.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah,
So
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. That's so true. I venture back on those times, and yes, I remember that shoulder talk, which is, Chris, come on, be in the moment. And I have a wife, and loving wife I've been dating since, or been married to for a long time, dated in high school sweethearts. And she is so present. She's a yoga instructor, so she's very in tune with things, and I've always been the opposite. And she's always been one to remind me, always be in the present, always be in that moment. And it's tough. It's tough for all of us. But you have to slow down, realize that these are moments in time, and you gotta take them. But you're right. It's so true. That's so true.
Chris, it's really interesting what you just said because um, I don't know how to put it about your wife. It's almost like she's your um alter ego, not alter, like
Yin and
another.
yang, yin
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yang,
yeah. It's
right?
like exactly. It's like you're yeah,
Yeah.
but she's you. She's just a reminder for you because you've chosen her for a reason. It's because that's the part of you that's forgotten.
I don't know why she chose me, but you know, I guess there's something to
Well,
be said about
they
dating someone early on, you know. So yeah.
well, maybe she saw that presence, but she has a different contract. But your contract with her maybe is, hey, you have a wife that a reminder of presence.
That's
Like
right.
my God, you
Right.
know, right? She
Yeah,
gives
yeah.
a yoga instructor, which is all about being in the moment, being with your
Yes.
body, right?
Yes.
And being grateful for this thing called life, right?
Yeah, yes. She's very in tune with that. If you met her, you'd be like, how did this guy get hurt?
You know,
Yeah, you'd be like, what is going on here? She is the most, no, of course, the beauty, but she's beautiful inside. She's the, yeah. But she has taught me that, and I think it's something she spreads a lot of that out to others, which is to find that peace, meditation, being present, and I think it's a useful tool to use in your daily life.
you know what I want to discuss? Notice that we have CEO insights in the living organization.
I
I can
do.
now point. Well, we spent a lot of time thinking, what can we, I mean, it's also methodology, agile organizations, resilient organizations, purpose-driven organizations, all of that. And we thought, nah, it's the living organization that matters. It's
Hmm.
the life. It's a life-affirming organizations. That's what matters. And life is so precious that we cannot just, we forget that, even this life itself, doesn't matter what form of life, is one in a billion chances it's going to be happening,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
and so we forget because we just get used to, of course everything is alive.
Hmm.
But then when it ends, then we realize, oh, wait a minute, I wasn't present to it
Hmm.
while I was here. And it's even in ourselves, things change, and we're not conscious that we are alive. So your wife is kind of almost a reminder, in particular the feminine part. The feminine is more in a being. It's like
Hmm.
right here and now, right? Don't worry about it, Chris. Tomorrow will happen for itself. The past is gone. The future is what does that say? The past is a history. The future is a mystery. You're in here,
Right.
right now.
Right.
Um, but we as males, we have a different kind of predisposition. We are more about, we're the hunters, right? What's going to
Hmm.
happen for the future? How do we hunt for the future, and we almost live in the future. And so, but at the same time, I realized that yes, we're males by species, but that doesn't mean we can't have feminine qualities of being present and
Hmm.
being and just being and being loving and being caring, right? That's kind of said. For some reason, we in our society we said that's a female thing. No, the
Hmm.
guys they're tough and they're rough and they go and hunt, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But in our work, if you're a senior leader and you're only a hunter and you're kind of like that rough and tough guy, it's not enough anymore. We're asking them, wait a minute, we want to have male qualities, we want to have female qualities from you as well. We want to have empathy. Man, you
Right.
like, if you can't have empathy, how can I talk to you? How can I approach you?
That's so important. Empathy, and I talk about that in the book, is that's it's a trait that is lost in society, right? Is the empathy for our fellow man and woman, and the ability to connect to that, right? So many people do not have that trait. I've always been so surprised by that. You know, I think if the world had more empathy for one another, it would make a significant difference, but it's been lost somewhere, and you got to gain it back. And I think some of that, to your point, you know, as a male, yeah, it we have a mentality of get or done, right? I got to
Yeah.
get it done, you know, and I'm the same way. I always think of myself, I'm a dig that ditch, you know. I'm gonna get it done. If there's something that has to be done, I'll dig it out, and I gotta go. I gotta go, 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 because I gotta get to the end. I gotta win. I gotta defeat. I gotta. And in ways it served me well in my life, right?
Yeah.
It has, and it has helped me be come to the top of the game in terms of the work I do in technology. I was a college athlete. You know, it served me well. But that, again, you can only go so far with that in this human existence. And as a man, and you have to really understand that, look, you can't always fix everything. You can't fix everything. And I've found out that I cannot fix everything. And the truth is, here's the thing. People have asked me, and I get people that come up to me because they know my story.
Mm.
And they'll ask for, what is it that, that gets you through? And I say, look, as soon as you realize you're not in control, that you are not the one with all the power, you will live a much better life, because we're not in control of the things that happen to us. Someone else is in control of that, right? I'm obviously, I believe in God, and I'm a those things, and that's not what this is about, a religious event. But it's important because I realize that I have no control. I can do all that I can do. I'll work as hard as I can, take care of the people I care about, give as much love and empathy as I can. But at the end of the day, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I can just be and do all that I can. So
Yeah,
that's how it's important.
letting go of the sense that you can fix everything, what you're saying, letting go of this kind of, I don't know, conditioning that we always need to be in control. We don't need to be in control. Nobody's even asking us to be in control, even as a CEO or a leader, right? They're just
Hmm.
asking to, be there with us and help support us. And right, somehow we construed it as a CEO means a chief control officer. It's
Right.
it's not
Right.
that, right?
Right. That's true.
And in fact,
That it's true.
the less you're in control, what you're saying, the more you're present, the more you're empathetic, and more you're allowing other people to step in, probably the faster it will go. Because right.
Yeah, I've had instances in my business where, I have leaders in different sectors and doing different things. And there's people who didn't live up to the leadership elements, and then they decide to move on or choose a different path, and that's fine. And then there's those who are not in those positions, but you can see the qualities, you can see the traits, you can see that they have that thing, right? And I've always felt I had a knack for knowing those who have that thing. I can see it. They don't see it. They'll even tell you, Chris, I can't do this. I'm not that guy. I don't have the ability. I don't have the ability to talk to people. I don't have the ability to set agendas and tell them that. I said, yeah, you do. You just don't know you don't have it. You just got to go and make it happen. I see it. I've seen it when you talk to me. I see it when but you have the quality. You just don't believe in yourself. It's a confidence issue. And so if you believe in yourself, and it happens, I would tell you so many times for guys who are just in those positions, and then I see them step up, and yeah, they make mistakes, sure. But boy, they end up being incredible employees, incredible people, and incredible leaders. And so I think it's, there's a great coach here in the US, used to coach the Eagles, Dick Vermeil, and he used to teach his coaches. He had a lot of coaches underneath him, like a lot of organizations. You have directors, managers. And he says, they asked him, what's the secret to your success? He won the Super Bowl. And he says, because I let my coaches coach. I let them be themselves, right? And that's the key. You gotta really give that to your management team, your employees, the ability to be successful. And if you do it, I think you're in a better place.
Chris, thank you so much. You remind us of a lot of important things, like being in the present, helping others, being in your heart center, being caring, help others become a coach. You're not the only coach. I really appreciate and love to have you back. We'll talk some more. Right? Feels like it's
Oh,
just the start of our journey.
I would love that, Vitaly. Thanks again for the opportunity, and I appreciate everything. Thank you so much.